I feel honored to introduce and welcome Mr. Shrinivas. He is a seasoned HR professional with over 25 years of experience in leadership roles, known for his dedication to create exemplary work environments. Having held the prestigious position of Senior Vice President at the Taj Group of Hotels, where he led total quality and business excellence and human resource. He played a pivotal role in building a customer-centric culture. Its innovative employee engagement strategies earned Taj recognition as one of the top 15 companies globally by Gallup, INC, and multiple global Great Workplace Awards. His work at Taj is even immortalized as a Harvard case study for exemplary HR practices. He has also contributed his expertise to Hewlett-Packard, where he managed HR for a workforce of over 10,000 software engineers. His commitment to social impact is evident in his leadership of the relief efforts post of 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks and his current involvement with Tata Trust and Tata Institutes of Social Sciences on skill development projects aimed at uplifting underprivileged youths. A recipient of multiple accolades, including the Seasoned HR Professional of the Country Award and NIPM's Lifetime Achievement Award, he continues to inspire through his passion for people development and his dedication to creating positive change. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. H.N. Shrinivas. I feel honored to introduce.
Good morning to all of you. That was a bit of a flattering introduction. Let me start with that one incident. See, the subject that has been given to me, religious seva. And if somebody has exemplified that and has lived that life, I can say with all humility and modesty that the founder of Tata Group, Mr. Jamsetji Tata, J.R.D. Tata, and Mr. Ratan Tata, they have demonstrated in their own life how business can be treated as seva. I can never forget one important statement that Jamsetji Tata made. There's a slide on that. That any collective human endeavor, you call it business, you call it a charitable organization, call it whatever name, you call it a sports team, any collective human endeavor comes together to deliver value to society. Delivering value to society becomes society is put in the center and as a route to achieve excellence in society, that is contributing, serving society in multiple ways, and rising the standard of life of the underprivileged and downtrodden, contributing in multiple ways through education, through healthcare, and through empowerment of backward people in remote areas, in multiple ways. Service is put in the center and business is seen as a means to achieve that central purpose of the organization. This is exemplified by what our founder said in the free enterprise. The community is not just mother and stakeholder, but the very purpose of its existence. Many organizations in Tata Group are built with this philosophy. When a frail 5 feet 6 inches person with a beard moving around in the dense jungles of Bihar, wanting to establish a steel mill because steel was an important commodity that was required for nation building those days in 1893, 1894, we are talking about 120, 130 years ago. He noticed tribal settlements inside the forest and very few towns, very few towns, very few schools. And these tribal settlements were a group of 20, 30 hutments, and they were all living in the jungle, they are jungle tribes. So, those days any expertise had to come to establish any technically advanced venture from England. So the first set of consultants he brings from England to establish a steel mill in Jamshedpur, today it's called Jamshedpur, those days there was no name for that, was two Fabian sociologists, Dr. and Mrs. Sidney and Beatrice Webb. The first step he took was to conduct a social audit to serve the tribal people and to recruit those children from tribal areas, put them in a skill school, train them and make them employees of Tata Steel. The first thing he started his project of Tata Steel was conducting a social audit to support the community in which he is setting up this enterprise. And when he realized there are not sufficient number of engineers available, the next thought that was bugging his mind uncontrollably was to set up a technical college, a technology and science research institute. There were only 4 or 5 engineering colleges those days in the country. And he said, I have to set up an advanced technology and science institute. He was moving around, meeting a number of princely state people, princes and their royal families, requesting for a piece of land and a few rupees, some little sum of money, to establish that science research institute. He did not succeed in a number of places that he went, and a saint from Calcutta guides him to go to 2-3 other locations, Trivandrum and Mysore, a few locations in Maharashtra. You go there, you talk to them, your dream will be fulfilled, and it's a great dream and a great challenge you have ahead of you. I admire you and support you. He comes all the way down south to Mysore, Krishnaraj Vadaya, and expresses his wish. The Maharaja of Mysore those days, he says, I want to build a steel mill, I need engineers, I need technical people, I'm not able to get them. So I have decided to set up a science and technology research institute. So he takes to it very, very appreciatively. He says it's a fantastic idea. I want to build scientific temper among the youth of India. Because the other people whom we met had laughed at him and he said it's a colony, British colony. Who are the children who will study science and technology? You are unnecessarily dreaming and wasting my time. These are all fanciful ideas. Don't even come to it. Don't waste our time. Maharaja of Mysore gives him those days something like 10,000 rupees, which is huge money in 1895, 96 and those years. And any amount of land you want in the north side of Bangalore is ours. You won't fence it, take it. And the legend goes, it may be more of a legend than a true story. Maharaja of Mysore had told him to fence as much as he wants, but Jamshedji Tata had only that much money to fence 300 acres. He had no money to fence more land. So he fenced that and he said, this will be my land. This is the land I have identified where I will set up a science research institute. Today stands tall, Indian Institute of Science. This is the story of Indian Institute of Science. And the saint who inspired him to do this was none other than Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda's blessings. So Swami is sitting here, he runs Vivekananda Institute, doing pranams to him. Let me submit that Swami Vivekananda's blessings and Jamshedji Tata's effort resulted in Indian Institute of Science. So putting society in the center and serving society, service, seva to society as the prime important objective, and finding a means to do that was the way in which business organizations in Tata Group were created. And they were so transparent. When Tata Steel Workers formed a union and they said we have our rights and we have to fight for it and we need a separate office, we need that, we need this and all that demands were going on. Dr. Saran Vishwesharaya, who was on that board, guided them, why don't you go and get a good leader as your president? You know who became the first president of Tata Steelworks Union? It was none other than Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose comes and sits with Vishwesvaraya and they do a strategic plan. The strategic plan for Tata Steel starts with worker welfare and community welfare. Is there any better example of putting Seva in the center and creating a business opportunity around that? Business opportunity is meant to render service to humanity, has been the repetitive saying of Jamshedji Tata and Father Jayati Tata. I'll just give you 2 more examples before somebody, Mr. Tomar looks at me menacingly because of time. The 2 other examples I would give. All of you, are aware of this 26/11 terror attack. And the chairman of the group those days was Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata arrived at the spot when the terror attack began to happen at 9:30 in the night. Mr. Tata was there at 10 o'clock. He gave up everything and he came with the entire leadership team. All that we could do for the 3 days, next 3 days, the terrorists were inside the hotel. We were gazing at that most painful spectacle of gunshot sounds, grenade blast sounds, fire gushing out of windows from various floors, not knowing what has happened to hundreds and thousands of people who are inside the hotel. It's a 600 hotel. It was packed. All banquet halls were packed. There was a wedding reception that was going on that day. Now, what has happened to all these people? At some stage, Ratan Tata even ventured to get into this hotel, but fortunately, police were there. They pulled him out. And after 3 days, we were allowed to come inside. And Colonel General Gupta, who was leading the entire, project, he came out and he said, "We have killed all the terrorists, you can come inside." When we entered, it was looking like a ravaged battlefield, everything broken, torn, and destroyed and devastated. And entire press was there. 250 people were all surrounding the hotel and crying, make a statement, make a statement. So he stood on the footsteps of the hotel. 2 statements he made, putting Seva in the center. He said, "I'm going to take care of all terror victims in the city of Mumbai. I heard that terror attack has happened in about 6-7 locations and a lot of people have lost their life and their children have been orphaned, wives have been widowed. I would like to take care of the entire family, all of them from Tata's." First statement. He was not talking about how will you renovate it, how much of damage has happened, how much money is needed to renovate. None of those things. I will serve people of Bombay. They are all in a shock now. And very interestingly, a colleague of mine was standing next to him, whispered in the ear, "Sir, we are in touch with police department. They have not given us the complete picture of what is the extent of casualty, deaths that have happened, injuries, and hundreds of people are in the hospitals." And he looked at him and he asked him, "Why are you saying this?" In fact, he was alluding to a point that we don't know the risk you are getting into committing. He said, whatever it takes, I'll commit the money, I'll commit the resources, I will do rehabilitation of all the terror victims, all locations. Chhatrapati Shivaji Station was the maximum casualty. Gori Bandar, Airport Cafe, Kama Hospital, Mandari Road, many locations. And he set up a trust. I had the good fortune of heading that and taking up the activities of relief and rehabilitation for all the terror victims. That is the only project he was so consciously, regularly reviewing with me. Every week I get a call. What is happening? You are not giving me an update. So another example of how Seva is put in the center and a business is constructed and created around him. I was going through some research reports published in several business schools. And one of them which caught my attention was, there was a professor in Tokyo University called Professor Funabashi, Dr. Funabashi. He conducted a 25-year research on what creates a sustainable organization? What helps in building and sustaining an organization which has lasted for 100 years, 150 years, 200 years? What are the factors there? One thing that was very powerfully coming out in his research was in the manner they build human relationships with stakeholders, starting with society. A short narrator. In the communities in which they operate, what quality of relationship they have built? What quality of relationship they have built with shareholders? What quality of relationship with customers, suppliers, employees? So this exemplifies, if it is a two-way relationship, if they have empathetically understood the needs of these stakeholders and constructed a plan to serve those needs openly and transparently, subject to audit, subject to the stakeholder questioning you, telling you, no, you said you will do this, but you have not done this. That transparency that these organizations have been able to build over a period of time has helped them to grow, expand, and become huge companies. So, to conclude, I'll just give you two examples. When Mr. Ratan Tata handed over his chairmanship to Mr. Mistry those days, he addressed some 300 top people in Tata Group. I happened to be sitting there. He said, honestly, I don't know what is serving us, what is helping us to have grown so big. When I took over from Jarani Tata, it was just a $4-5 million company. Of course, he took over a $10 million company and made it to a $4-5 million company. When I took over it as $5 million. Today, I understand it is $120 million company. And we have expanded, we have multiplied our businesses, not only in India, but outside of India. What has contributed to this expansion, honestly, maybe it is the blessings of people that is visiting us. Because we have put seva, we have put service to people at the center and building businesses around that. When we acquired Magadi Soda in Kenya, they were all protesting. Outskirts of Nairobi, 3 hours away. All the African workers, 7,000 workers were protesting. Ratan Tata went and said the prime objective of acquiring this number one is to serve all of you. I am here to serve the communities as a priority number one and build a business around this service. In order for me to serve you, I need to create wealth. I am creating wealth to serve you. And you put forth your demands. What are the things that you want us to address? When you report Jaguar Land Rover company in London, same thing he said. The entire British media was shocked when he said, I am not going to do job losses, no retrenchment, no job losses. And it was widely reported in England, in London. Everybody asked him, how do you then transform this company? They are all elderly people and you want to remove them and bring some technically trained, competent senior youngsters. He said, I know how to do it, give it to me. Ask me this question after 3 years. The company that will transform and it will be vibrant, it will be rocking with profits. So there is a DNA, there is a philosophy in their mind. We have to serve people first. Communities in which we operate, our employees, our societies, our communities, and then languishing and looking at us, we can't be in an ivory tower, enjoying the life of, imperialists. We have to mix with them, we have to understand them, we have to vibe with them. They have to participate in whatever we are doing, the communities. Employees have to participate in whatever we are doing. With such kind of harmony, synergy, and participation, that spirit of service, when a company is built, it is bound to become bigger, bigger, bigger. The last quote I will end my talk with. This is from Albert Einstein. I don't know that I mentioned this earlier, but no harm in repeating it. It's a fantastic quote. Every time I remind myself, quote, every day I remind myself that my inner and outer life is made of contribution and selfless service of a number of human beings, some of whom are alive and many are dead.
Great, thank you.
So I am telling myself, in order to give it back, I need to exert myself in order to give more and more, serve more and more. Every day, and with that spirit, I will continue my mission in the life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shrinivas. It was such a tone setting for Seva. Like the business.